Selfless love is the love that gives without calculation, holds without gripping, and uplifts without expectation of return. It is the freedom of the soul to love another, not for what they offer, but simply because they exist. Selfless love, often called caritas in Catholic tradition or agape in Scripture, is the highest form of love, sacrificial, pure, and unwavering. This love does not seek its own gain. It does not operate from wounded ego or the need to be chosen. It does not anxiously grasp or manipulate. It loves with strength and clarity, even when unseen. It finds joy not in applause, but in the quiet dignity of choosing to love rightly. To understand the joy of selfless love, we must first clear the fog of misconception. Selfless love is not being a doormat. It does not mean tolerating abuse, neglect, or betrayal in the name of patience. Christ calls us to turn the other cheek, but never to surrender our dignity to ongoing harm. Saints like Saint Catherine of Siena, who confronted popes with boldness, knew that love without truth becomes sentimentality, and truth without love becomes cruelty. Selfless love is not people-pleasing. People-pleasing stems from fear, from a disordered need to be liked, and often from unhealed wounds. Selfless love acts from security in God, not insecurity about oneself. It is not codependency. Codependency is a fusion of identities where one cannot bear to see the other struggle, not because of compassion, but because their emotional stability is entangled. Selfless love respects boundaries. It can say no with grace and yes with purpose. It is not enabling. To enable is to remove consequences, often to avoid discomfort or pain. Selfless love holds space for transformation. It allows others to grow, even through suffering. It does not interfere with grace by overstepping. It is not martyrdom for martyrdom's sake. The saints died in love, not for the glory of pain, but for the glory of God. Selfless love lays down life only when called, not from compulsion but from freedom. It is not loveless duty. Love without heart becomes obligation. True selfless love springs from delight, even amid sacrifice. At the heart of selfless love is freedom. St. John Paul II taught that love is only real if it is freely chosen. Selfless love does not coerce or demand. It honors the dignity of the other and gives room for their will to unfold. It is rooted in truth. It does not overlook reality in order to preserve fantasy. It speaks honestly and listens with humility. It is grounded in grace. We do not generate this love by effort alone. It flows from union with God. We love because He first loved us, 1 John 4, verse 19. It is sustained by prayer. In silence, we are filled. In surrender, we are renewed. In Eucharist and confession, we receive the strength to love as Christ does. The joy of selfless love is not the thrill of being adored or the security of being needed. It is the deep peace that comes from alignment with God's will. It is the joy of becoming like Christ, who emptied Himself, taking the form of a servant, Philippians 2:7. Christ did not love with conditions. On the cross, He loved even those who crucified Him. This is our model. Selfless love brings inner freedom. When you no longer require someone to act a certain way for you to remain loving, you are free. When you love not to receive but to give, you are no longer chained by outcomes. It brings clarity. No longer blinded by self-interest, you can discern rightly. You can see people more clearly and respond more wisely. It brings healing. As you love without agenda, your wounds begin to close. You become less reactive, more compassionate. Love purifies. It brings joy, not fleeting pleasure but enduring gladness. Joy that wells up from knowing you are aligned with eternal things. Saint Therese of Lisieux taught the little way, to do small things with great love. She loved hiddenly, joyfully, without demanding recognition. Saint Maximilian Kolbe gave his life for a stranger in Auschwitz. He said, "Only love creates." His sacrifice was not performative, it was a pure outpouring. Saint Teresa of Calcutta showed selfless love by tending to the dying poor. She did not measure results, she measured faithfulness. Her motto, "Do small things with great love." These saints lived in joy, even amid great suffering, because their love was anchored in eternity, not in earthly returns. Selfless love reflects what psychologists call secure attachment. It arises from wholeness. It is not clingy or dismissive, not anxious or avoidant. It is stable and steady. It is correlated with high levels of life satisfaction, lower levels of depression and anxiety, and greater emotional regulation. The one who loves selflessly is often the most emotionally mature person in the room. Selfless love also heals the brain. Neuroscience shows that acts of compassion activate the brain's reward center. Loving others, even silently, can regulate cortisol and boost oxytocin, reducing stress and increasing resilience. To practice selfless love, pause before reacting. Ask, am I loving or am I controlling? Ask for grace. Say, Jesus, love through me, I am empty. Serve in secret. Do good unseen. Let your left hand not know what your right is doing, Matthew 6:3. Forgive often. Release debts. Refuse to keep score. Set boundaries. Love doesn't mean access. Sometimes the most loving act is holy distance. Remain rooted in identity. Your worth is not defined by how others respond to your love. Delight in others' joy. Rejoice with those who rejoice, even when your heart aches. Let go of outcomes. Trust that God works through love, even if results are invisible. When love is not reciprocated, the temptation is to stop loving or to love conditionally. But selfless love is not a transaction. It does not say, I will love you if. It says, I will love you, period. This doesn't mean you stay in harmful places or suppress your needs. It means you allow love to remain your posture, even in silence. St. John of the Cross said, in the evening of life, we will be judged on love alone. Not on success, but on the courage to love without measure. The cross is the clearest image of selfless love. Christ gave everything, knowing many would reject him. He did not wait for a promise of return. His love was not transactional, it was covenantal. From the cross he said, Father, forgive them. From the cross he gave his mother to us. From the cross he showed that love costs everything and gives more than it costs. Selfless love is cruciform. It stretches wide, it endures, it breathes grace into dry bones. Because it makes us like God. God is love. When we love selflessly, we taste divine life. We transcend the ego. We participate in the eternal dance of the Trinity, Father giving to Son, Son giving to Father, Spirit proceeding in love. This is the deepest joy, to be poured out in love, yet never empty. Love is patient, love is kind. It is not self-seeking, 1 Corinthians 13:4-5. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends, John 15:13. Do everything in love, 1 Corinthians 16:14. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves, Romans 12:10. Let all that you do be done in love, 1 Corinthians 16:14. To love selflessly is not to lose yourself, it is to find your truest self. The soul becomes radiant when it mirrors divine love. This is not naive love. It is the hardest thing you will ever do, but it is also the most liberating. The joy of selfless love is not found in perfect relationships, but in a perfect offering of the heart. A love that keeps going when applause fades. A love that does not unravel when misunderstood. A love that endures because it is tethered to the eternal. Let the world do as it will. Let others change. Let hearts waver, but let you love with constancy, not out of need,